Unlike it's been the case over the past few episodes, this time it's me who's introducing you to the other episode because I was free finally to talk football, talk Indian football. So yeah, it's good to be back, and along with me, your usual guys, Sandeep and Orko joins us. Guys, three matches in the Asian Cups, three of us in this show. India ended up with no points. Some would say that they would have expected this, but others, optimistic ones, would be like, okay, this is not a good campaign, we should have come back with at least a point. Sandeep, let's start with you. How do you look at this campaign of the Indian men's national team at the Asian Cup?
Not great. Um, it is a tough group. Let's first of all say that it is a tough group.
Right.
But to not have scored a goal, winning is fine. But I thought the first half performance against Australia was good. The first half performance today was good. The whole Uzbekistan performance was very bad. Um, lot of I don't know. But before they started, I said that all I'm looking for is good performances from the team competing well.
But that didn't
Saw it
come.
in flashes, but I a little disappointed for sure.
Are you as well disappointed, Orko? Like as disappointed as Sandeep is, or do you think it was more? It was the writing was on the wall before this team went to Qatar for the competition.
I don't know. I'm strangely calm today. I'm, uh, I don't know if it's acceptance with the way things are. Um, I mean, it's a hope that kills you, right? Before the tournament, I tweeted, and I always hope I'm wrong, right? And people say negativity was, but I tweeted saying getting out of this group with a goal difference of -5 or greater will be a miracle, right? Because Indian football tweeted saying miracle worker Trevor Sinclair joins, and पूरे 3 मैच में एक भी सेट पीस से कोई थ्रेट नहीं आया. हाँ, but that's money down the drain. Let's be very honest, right? And I just accepted it. I just accepted that this is the way it's going to be. Even though we'd accepted it, we hoped that
We were
somewhere
wrong.
something will happen. But my concern is that throughout the 3 games, we didn't produce any clear-cut chances. I get it. Australia World Cup team, Uzbekistan probably going to be World Cup team in the 2026 cycle. सारे 8 देश क्वालिफाई कर रहे. उज्बेकिस्तान एशिया के टॉप 8 9 10 में से है. Agreed. Syria on a downward curve. No Omar Al-Soma. Omar Kirbin came off the bench.
He's had a difficult season as such in the domestic circuit as well.
Domestic circuit. The thing is, हमने कहीं से create ही नहीं किया है. हमने कुछ किया ही नहीं है. Like हमने वो final third तक पहुंचे ही बहुत कम है. And when we got there also, we've looked completely bereft of ideas.
Correct.
My problem isn't as such with the losses, right? Like Sandeep said, we wanted good performances.
That didn't come by.
That didn't come. That didn't, except maybe 10 minutes आज start में, and the defensive resilience showed against Australia.
Yep.
It didn't. मतलब दिखा ही नहीं हमें. Like we didn't see. And I should say this, and you know, like feel free to correct me. Obviously हम बोलेंगे कि मतलब क्या ही करेंगे, इनका level यही है. 75th minute, when we conceded in the 75th minute today, it didn't look like we were a goal down. It didn't look like we had to go for it. That's not the feeling I got. So, all in all, another very disappointing campaign.
Another disappointing campaign, that is true.
Yeah.
But Sandeep, you started by saying very disappointed, at least from the performance point of view. I'm just turning darker by darker because my light has shut for some weird reason. I tried charging it was not charging. Now I look very dark. That's just like just like how the Indian football is looking right now. Coming back to what you said at the beginning, Sandeep. Yes, we were expecting better performance, but except for those two phases, the first half against Australia and today first half against Syria, things didn't look like as if the team was even in the game. Like what according to you has gone wrong? Like was it the mindset which the team was playing, or the preparations, or the lack of quality in the side? What is it that has not worked for India?
I think, see, preparation was not ideal. That much is clear. But then I am not willing to criticize ISL or anybody else saying that we need a 1 month cam and all that.
Right.
You could, if you wanted to
Isn't the
play,
A League wasn't the A League going on when the
Yeah,
Asian
yeah.
Cup
yeah, that's
A-League
what
is
I'm
going
saying.
on.
Like, I am not going to sit here and give that as an excuse.
ridiculous?
It is a ridiculous argument or demand to put forth for the national team also. But yeah, look, it is very. It's tough to say what went wrong. I can't say tactically we were good or bad because they played exactly how you would think India would play. You would defend in numbers and then try to counterattack. It sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Today, clearly in the final third, there was a lack of quality. Maybe someone like Brandon would have been a lot more effective. Sahel came on. Sahel really looked out of it, and you can't blame him. He was injured. He's coming
Correct.
back at that intensity. First thing he did is lost the ball, and he lost the ball quite a bit up the field.
Yep.
So maybe what something else. The substitutions today was also a little strange. You okay? Sandesh was a forced change. Then you're chasing you're trying to win the game.
Yeah.
You bringing on Suresh and
Suresh is
Thapa.
on.
Okay, you have Udanta on earlier. Like some of the changes didn't make much sense. Like you had more flair or
Liston
attacking.
did not get a longer run in this competition either.
Yeah, maybe Brandon or maybe Liston because of his
Yeah.
X factor. Somebody else. There are other options. I don't know. Maybe they are not completely fit either.
The subs were out of whack though.
The substitutions today I thought was a little odd. From the whole tournament, I thought Subhashish both showed why he should always be considered as one of
India's
the
number one
best
left
in
back.
this.
Yeah, yeah. He
Along
should
with
be the starter.
Anwar Ali, Sandesh, and him. These are your three. The rest can change. I thought Gurpreet, except for that first Australia thing,
Yeah. That.
he had a great tournament. I think he saved a lot. Some of them you should expect him to save also.
Yep.
I'm not going to give
Hmm.
too much praise for that, but he kept them in the game, especially in the last one to Uzbekistan. Also, he had a good performance.
True.
Who else was there? Who else was Changte? I thought very defensively responsible in every time in all the performances that he showed. I thought those three stood out for me as maybe the two outfielders more than the keeper itself. But Apuya also showed that he belongs at that level. But that is not something that we were surprised with or anything, right? So
Absolutely.
today, then you could have played another 90 minutes, and I don't think India would have scored.
True. Like
That,
that comes to my next point, Orko, like lack of quality in the final third, and that is one question that one of our followers who's joining us has asked: should we either allow foreign striker or
can I
foreign?
just say one thing before I just saw
Okay.
Srinidhi's comment about we had good possession. Good possession doesn't mean anything. Like I can keep the
It's
ball in my defensive
you
third or pass
you
around in
read it
midfield.
wrong. It's an ongoing joke in Indian football Twitter. It
Yeah.
has
Oh,
nothing. It's a
oh, then sorry. I was like, yeah, we had possession, but what really
nay,
did we
nay,
do with
because I
this?
think someone came out and said don't criticize Stimac. We had BPDA and that to the
What
BPDA
is
stat was
PPD?
way higher. So
What is PPD?
it's a joke.
PPD is some Pune football or something, or what?
Nay, it's passes per defensive action.
Oh God.
Wow.
Cool. But going back to this question,
My
Orko,
bad,
about
Srinidhi. My bad. I
what
was
do-
not aware of this joke.
internal joke that
You
Indian
become
football
old,
Twitter is having.
Sandeep. You become
Yeah,
old.
I am not much in all this.
But
Oh, so
Orko,
Sandesh also, just before we finish, Sandesh
yeah,
also, I thought, really did perform like what you would expect Sandesh to perform.
yeah, no one's outperformed as such. Like you expected these performances from these players, and they've just stood up to the task. So
No,
that
I
X
think they are
factor,
the ones who perform. The rest of them have just
they're just
been like
there. They're just there.
6 out of 10 is not really what you're looking for at this level, right?
True.
You have 3 games.
No,
Exactly.
no.
Exactly.
At,
Orko,
at,
do you
this,
wanted
at
to?
this level, at this level, if at least 9 or 10 of your players are not producing eights, especially in a group like this,
Mhm.
you're not going to like. For example, we've seen upsets, right? We've seen upsets in this tournament. Let's not say it's not
Oh
happened.
yeah, it's been a fun tournament as a whole to watch.
Either the
Yeah,
AFC and AFCON have been like bundles
Yeah,
of joy, right?
absolutely.
AFCON again has proved that rankings are just a sham. Like you have teams smashing smashing each other left, right, and center, like no relation to rank
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Senegal is playing some great football there. Lovely games.
I mean, the point is what we were saying is that we didn't look like we were going to create that upset at any point of time.
Yeah.
We didn't. We
But
didn't. The only
it,
the
it
only
looked
time
like
I
we
had
were happy to be there. Like we are part of the Asian Cup, and yeah,
us
khatam.
the
Apna target
participation
achieved hai.
certificate. Participation certificate. The only time I had
Maksad
my
pura ho gaya.
heart in my mouth, hoping was when Chhetri got that half chance, right, against
Yeah,
Australia
and
when
that
the
came
ball
from a defensive error.
came in from the. So I'm saying
That was a tough chance.
there
I
were tough.
didn't. Yeah.
No, I'm saying that's the only time it looked like we don't even might even remotely upset the odds. But other than that, we didn't have any clear cut chances. I'm struggling to remember
You
throughout the 270.
the your you hate this guy, but he hit the post.
KP.
Hmm.
KP. I don't hate the guy. He's your favorite. I don't hate the guy. But hate is too strong a word. Okay, I
You
just think there are
dislike him.
better players than him. No, I just think there are better players than him. That's it, right? But no, coming back to Sandeep's point, like when we were chasing the game, when we need to score 2 goals today, the substitutions just left me befuddled. Like you took off for Mahesh now. I don't know what happened. There's that injury. I don't know, but I don't get it. I
I mean,
don't. I
if
don't get it
Stimac
at
is to
all.
be billed, half his team is injured.
Yeah, you bought on Suresh. I get it. You want to shore up while going for that goal because you bought Sahal also. But Suresh is not going to get you that goal, bro. He's not going to do that for you. Like as much as Suresh has grown leaps and bounds. Sandeep says he's working on his game. All of that I agree, but he's not going to slalom and into the box and score or do anything of that sort. Right. So we didn't look at any point of time like we were going to upset the odds or or do anything of that sort, right? The Udanta thing, I hate to say it, and speaking to some of former colleagues, they said go easy on him, bro. We're trying to extract some part of the player that he used to be. I said go easy, ठीक है, but Stimac is not going easy. Everybody can see that the guy is struggling, right? First of all, the guy getting on the plane, I get why the guy got on the plane because he's probably the team's fifth or sixth most experienced player.
Yeah, there's something
Udanta.
that we discussed earlier as well, right?
Yeah, I
48
get it.
caps going into the competition and all.
48 caps, my I have no words,
Okay,
right?
he's
But I have no
completed his
words.
50 caps.
Yeah, I complete 50 caps. But I just don't know. I get it. The thing is, we played it safe. We played safe right from the start. We played safe with the squad selection also. And Sandeep and I have discussed. People will always have problems with squad. People will always have say that तुमने ये 26 लिए ये 5 क्यों नहीं लिए. People will
Correct.
always have that problem, right? But it just seemed to me like there were informed players that were ignored, right? And there were players who hardly played this season. Ishan, for example, played what 70 minutes this season.
Ishan was there on a vacation.
But think about it like this: Tangri was not really doing anything, dropped directly into the Asian Cup. Had actually decent performances, quite good performances,
Tangri, the
and
thing
now
is,
he can regain his
Lost
Tangri
mojo.
should
luster.
Tangri doesn't play at club level because the club is stacked, right? But
Exactly.
Tangri, if I look at 7 out of 11 Asian clubs, 11 ISL clubs, Tangri starts somewhere,
He does.
right? Right? With Ishan, can you say the same thing?
No, that is
Ishan
a bad.
starts in MDF.
We are just talking about the same thing all the time with this striker
Yeah.
Yeah,
selection. So
yeah.
But shall we go move on with the striker selection? Because there's a
Questions,
question that
yeah.
came in. I tried to bring it in, but Sandeep, as usual, poked in.
Hmm.
And now he's apologizing. Who wants to take this one? Should we either allow a foreign striker or a foreign central defender on the pitch at the same time in ISL? In I League, foreigners should be allowed only in attack or defense one time. Like, what on earth is this? Like,
No, see, so
these things will not
he's trying to
work.
say that when a foreign striker plays, don't play a foreign center defender, and vice versa. He's trying to say that. But in
but
leagues
it doesn't work like
all
that,
over the
right?
world, see, in leagues all over the world, this happens,
Hmm.
right? That ours is no distinction, right? It's up to us to produce these players
Correct.
that can bench the foreigners or just force the management to say be rid, right? And
Exactly.
I'd also say one very very important, very laughable thing right now, right now, right? Majority of ISL players, barring let's say 10 foreigners, right? There are 6 into 12, 72 foreigners,
Yep.
right? 60 foreigners are, I'm willing to bet this. I don't know the exact stats, but I have very good guess here. 60 foreigners are on less than 200 USD, right? Which is less than what some of the Indian national teamers make. So it's in the club's best financial interest also to probably play the foreigner over paying a Indian player 3 CR. You're playing an Indian player 3 CR. That's almost 400 USD, right? That's 375K USD. You'll get two foreigners in that, right? So, like,
So the point here is we don't have enough homegrown players to push these foreigners out to begin with. That's the reason the clubs go out and like look for at
right,
least some quality, if not the price
right,
that they can get.
right,
So the problem
right.
is not having foreigners in the league. The problem is that we
No.
are not producing good
And
enough players who can push these foreigners out.
and I mean, put yourself in the shoes of the club, right?
Absolutely. Like for me, it is
Uh,
a business at the end of the day.
if you're getting somebody who's not yet national team level, but somewhere in and around, for
Yep.
let's not say 3 CR, for like 1.5 CR, 1.5 CR, right? And then you have a foreigner who's at 150K,
Yep.
right? It's
Simple
an
math.
it's simple math, right?
Yeah. So the problem is we are not producing anything, nothing more than that. Another question that comes in from one of another of our followers is, and this is coming from Twitter. Is quite surprising that questions can come in from Twitter as well. Never saw this in the past.
Hmm.
Last Asian Cup we saw Constant resign. I was there when he cried and he resigned. This time, man, what are
Same.
you expecting?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You
No,
already
We
Constantine
already
didn't
explained
resign.
this.
Let's make this very clear.
he
Constantine
did
did
not
not
resign.
resign. His
Yeah,
contract expired.
yeah,
There
and
was nothing from AIFF saying his contract was going to be renewed,
yeah,
and Constantine also
yeah.
decided to resign.
He had
And
lost the
he
dressing room by
left
then.
on a perceived high.
Yeah, yeah.
He left on a perceived high.
Uh,
For Stimac, the contract is already extended. They are also talking about World Cup qualifier third round and all. We're still in the second round. Let's just make sure
and
that
we
we do
lost the match.
the and then figure out when we get into the final
Take
round.
Maulik Nair's first question. I think that's something I wanted to discuss. Vasevi.
कौन सा bench वाला?
No, I'm wondering what can be done with this group of
Gosh, अभी किधर है ये सवाल?
players.
मेरे को दिख क्यों नहीं रहा? Ah, yes, I am wondering. Let us wonder together. What can be done with this group of
So I,
players?
I
Is
just
the
want to
issue
give
coaching?
I just want to give some historical perspective to this, not
Uh,
directly talking anything about this group of players. Essentially, what happened is this cycle kind of started once Constantine finished his World Cup qualifiers, and that was a disaster. Constantine
Constantine never.
realized,
No.
no, yes, we are talking about way back. We are talking about way back. We're talking about the Guam campaign. We're talking about the campaign in which we lost to
No.
Guam.
What do you mean? Like I lost the thought. The
So
thought.
I'm saying this cycle that cycle of players who
Ah,
served
it began
who
with the
served us
Nepal
well,
match.
who served us well for, let's say, starting from 2006
Yeah,
to
yeah,
about 2014, ended with that qualifying
yeah.
tournament. Constantine acted swiftly and decided to move on
Exactly.
from them.
Yeah.
Right now, what has happened is this group of players has been festering for almost 10 years, except maybe the young ones.
Mm.
But you look at a Rahul Beke, a Sandesh
Yeah.
Jhingan, a Udanta,
Mhm.
a Gurpreet Singh Sandhu, right? Brandon wasn't in case because he and Mandar were banned by Constantine.
Yeah,
They were doing this thing. So this group of players kind of took over from there, right? And I personally feel we hadn't prepared a succession plan, right? A lot of those guys have
Oh.
still gone out, right? For example, like Preetham Kotal doesn't feature much these days, right? A lot of those guys don't. But the sad bit is there is no succession plan, right? Uh, for example, we'll always have keepers. We might get a good keeper after Gurpreet, right? Because Amrinder Gurpreet almost the same age,
You
right?
have
Yeah.
Purba
Vishal
coming
K
up
also is
and few others down the line. Yeah, there are some of them.
there, right? But central defense is an issue. We have an Anwar Ali, right? We have a Chunga, we have a Sana. That's it. We have a Mehtab, right? That's who we have to play with. right? CMs who can play at this level, and we've seen throughout the tournament, our CMs have been somewhere
Yep.
lacking, right? Except Apuya, we've not really had a talent who we can say, oh, boss, Apuya,
Yeah, what
this
about
guy
someone
needs
like a
to,
Jeekson? Jeekson is there. No, he's
yeah. But for how long is the question,
They're
right?
all in
So
their first half of the 20s, on paper at least.
on paper, very important. Remember, we've had Indian national teamers with over 50 caps retire from football at 30,
yep,
right? If I'm talking about one particular defender, not going to name him, but when Chingan started, he was the one who used to partner Chingan,
yep.
right? So we can never predict, right? So yeah, that's the thing. For me, I think a new cycle has to be blooded in. They have to be given chances. They have to be given chances to lose matches, right? You can't really remove a player after one match and say he's not done well because he doesn't have the experience at that level, right? There are folks here who've got time and again they've got chances and they've not been able to
Yeah.
perform.
But then
So
again, you're talking about giving time to the new people who are coming in. But if the coach has set sight on round three of the qualifiers, I don't think there's enough time. Yeah, you
no,
can't lose matches,
there
right?
isn't.
So because that is not the succession plan the coach or the management or federation as a whole has in mind. They want to continue with this bunch of players as long as they can and probably look for some miracle to happen somewhere down the
Hmm.
line.
Hmm. I don't think there is any time for a succession plan though.
Yeah, there is no time for
But
a success.
today I would like to apologize to all our listeners that we didn't do a like, because today is the first time I listened with the official commentary, and
Uh-huh.
that was absolutely pandering and horrible. Uh, so I am sorry
Yeah,
that
but
we were
because we
not
have
free to
full
do it.
time, because we have full time.
Yeah, that was just absolute. I was thinking, what all is this fellow saying? Like, at least do some basic research before you come and talk about it. Just don't write the
That
names of
was
the club
it
players
was
play for.
shambolic. It was a bit of shambolic.
Yeah,
Yes.
Brian has a take on today's match, like the technical quality of most teams in the tournament.
Bahrain.
His name is Barin? No, Brian.
Baryon gaming. Right, taking the most better than you boys are just hate having ball. I don't think you'll improve. Bahrain gaming. I can't tell you what the what the at the lowest base level. I can't tell you what the thinking
Yep.
is, right? Because uh, everyone treats it like a grenade at the base level, right? Ball aaya.
See ball, hit ball.
See ball, hit ball, Thudanomics is what we call it, right? We also call it agricultural football, but I should apologize because agriculture is the backbone of our country. So that's not it's not fair enough at all on our poor farmers.
True.
But it's not just the boys; it's the coaches also at this thing level. क्यों खेल रहे हो बॉल के साथ उड़ाओ ball, like it's not like, see, every time a coach does that, the national team suffers, and I'm not joking.
Yeah, yeah, indeed.
There is a domino effect.
Absolutely. RNB. I don't remember his what.
RB.
I know RB, like, but do you know what his name is? It's just RNB.
No, no, no,
The
no
whole thing
idea.
about changing style of play, because it's something that everyone constantly keeps talking about ever since Stimac has taken over. There is flair, there is style, it's better to watch Indian team play and blah blah blah. But all of that doesn't matter if results not coming your way, right?
Agreed. Agreed. And Sanjeev, you can add. Remember the last Asian Cup?
I last the entire cycle, it was bloody boring to watch, but we got the results.
No, the Asian Cup was not boring to watch. We played some scintillating
No,
football,
no,
right?
I'm talking the entire
Huh.
4 year cycle.
The cycle.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So against UAE, right? We took the
yeah,
game
yeah, of
to them,
course.
man. We took it to them,
Uganda hit the
right?
bloody post.
Again, Udanta hit the bloody
Yeah.
post, right? Huh. So I mean, it's just that we're looking at this level. Honestly, nobody cares how the results come.
Mm.
It's true.
Yeah.
RB's comment is true. Nobody cares. It's all about the results,
Eh,
right? And today he might go and say 53% possession, 60. None of that matters.
True.
Scoreline says 0 next to your name.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Like, I think Akash, who joins us from, like, probably joining us from Qatar, or while he's waiting for his
Hmm.
flight back home. as a long comment
I am
because he
saying
has
he
been
is the
coming
reason.
everywhere.
When he went, only he started getting smashed. We played well against Australia. We were all like, oh, hoping. Then Akers landed.
Everything went down the drain. We were in gutter from there. Akash is the reason. So you know, guys, who you need to blame. He's the one who's done things wrong for us. No one else. Cool. Next one, moving on. Bharadwaj Reddy has a question with the half ISL still remaining and World Cup qualifiers in must.
Beautiful
Yeah.
question. Beautiful
He can
question.
ask all he wants. The league has to finish in time,
Yeah.
and
Or
they will do what they
The
have to
league,
do.
the league is a business entity. The clubs are business entities. They have signed long-term contracts with the players. They have a legal obligation to those players. Let's get out of this mentality. Let's not believe everything everyone says. Let's use our judiciousness also, from time to time. Like, he can ask for camps, but boss, the boys were in the middle of the season, right?
yeah.
The boys were middle of season. They had played half the season. They're supposed to be at peak performance at this point of time.
Like, I completely do not agree with this very comment that has come in from Aditya.
Don't have much time with players to prepare friendlies before 3 games. What would I mean? So, who asked them not to play friendlies? They could have played behind closed doors. Constantine played behind closed doors
Yeah, he played
before the
quite
last
a
game.
few. Yeah, he
But
did
to
that.
be fair,
But
we
this
are
team
also
also
looking
had
at
enough
them.
matches. Not that they played what Intercontinental Cup, SAF Championship. They had matches. Not that they
Those
didn't have
are
matches.
This
six
team played,
months
I think,
before, right?
15 to 18 matches. No, but I'm saying this team played 15
Yeah,
to
they
18
played
matches
enough
in the
matches.
year.
They
In the
played a
year.
lot of
Yeah,
games.
they played enough
This
matches.
team probably played as many matches in 2023 as any other Asian Cup going
Yeah,
nation.
yeah.
I
They
am
played a lot.
not kidding.
So
But
it's
if they wanted to, they could have played some matches behind closed doors or something in case you didn't want
You
to.
could have called our old friends Nepal. Huh.
for all you. If you want
Then
match, you
leave it.
can call anyone.
The call our old friend Ashley.
And
He
this
anyway has a strike.
Aditya also, the fact that he doesn't have much time is also like he's got the same time or more than most of the other
Dude,
coaches.
he's a national team coach. How much more time does he want? Like this is
You
this.
if you are going into a tournament already with these excuses,
Then you're
then
finished.
you know that you are going there for a reason. I mean, now
Absolutely.
they're
Hmm.
saying the certain statements has been misconstrued, saying Asian Cup is not important. That is not what the Stimac
Hey,
said.
that is just bullshittery.
But now,
Absolutely.
okay, if the World Cup round three is the most important, then ensure that we get to World Cup round three. But it's not, everybody talks like it is a done deal. It is not. It's a very difficult thing to get into that. We have to first of all we need to beat Afghanistan. We have not managed to do that last time also. So I have no
Hmm.
confidence that we will just go there and roll them over.
No, but there are 20 people striking, dude. If we can't beat
But
Afghanistan,
it's but still 20 people striking, but still they have players playing. I know the seniors are
agree.
having problems and all that, but they'll still have players playing. And we
No,
we
agree.
we how less than 2 years ago we were struggling to beat Sri Lanka.
Oh yeah. I remember Robin Singh scoring goal from
Yes.
somewhere and getting.
Was it less than 2 years ago? I think it was in 2022, right? That we had a
That's
nil-nil draw against Sri
yeah,
Lanka.
that's less than 2 years. No, it's only
Sorry, yeah, I'm forgetting we are in 2024 already. My
yeah.
bad.
Cool.
Right? So it was the fag end of 2020.
Yes. Moving on, next question. Can we say that the last one for Chetri, Jingan, Gurpreet? Jingan,
Chhetri,
Gurpreet, I
yes.
don't think.
I would think Chhetri and Jingan. Gurpreet because he's a
Is Jingan
goalkeeper.
that old?
He's 39, no soon.
Who? Jingan.
Chhetri.
Oh,
Chingan?
Chetri, yes.
Chetri
Yeah.
is already third.
Yeah.
He's turning
Yeah.
40 this year.
Chetri, yes, but Jingan and Gurpreet, no.
Shingen
They'll be around.
should be 30. He was my
I
age,
I
I think.
think
So
Yeah.
33.
We should.
I can't. I'm not sure if I'm. The thing is, I don't see any other centre back coming up. But I think by the time the next Asian Cup comes up, Jingan's going to be in the twilight. So it depends on his form at that
No,
point
the
of time.
next
Jingan's
Asian Cup
only
is
gonna have,
actually only 3 years away, not 4 years. So there is that also. We need
26,
to
yeah,
right?
remember.
2020,
Yeah.
2027.
7, yeah.
Shingen
2027.
30. Oh. Yeah, what? No, he has to be older than that.
Yeah. He'll pull off a
Hey,
Maldini man in Saudi.
lips are sealed. Lips are sealed.
I thought he was my
Lips are
age.
sealed. I'm not going to say anything
Jingle will
about
pull off a
this.
Maldini
But
in this thing. What do you call?
but if
Saudi.
he can, play, the thing is he might just be like another Chhetri figure. The powers that you can just decide कि कोई center back है ही नहीं.
Hmm.
But the thing is, we don't even know if Jingan's going to have an ISL contract. in that.
Yeah,
When
no
you
doubt.
expect that the stand,
He'll have an ISL contract.
I think so. Huh? Maybe,
So maybe
maybe.
Gurpreet and
We,
Jingan might be there. Chhetri looks very
Gurpreet, Gurpreet, I
lost.
think is definitely playing the next Asian
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah.
Gurpreet, I think is definitely playing the next Asian Cup unless some miracle happens. Because it's 3 years, we haven't seen a keeper who can challenge Gurpreet.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think
what is there?
Gurpreet, it's probably too early to stick my neck out, but he might even start as number one unless someone improves
I mean, the
drastically.
only real challenger I see is Purba, but he has to. The thing is, like, even when Gurpreet came, Subrata was in his peak, ending of his peak, and moving on,
But
and it
Subrata
took
was
him
so
5 years before he managed to break in. So there is
no, but
always.
and
ever since Gurpreet made his debut in the second match of that qualifier, no, in Constantine era.
hmm.
So उसके
Yeah,
बाद
so
से
it
he's
took
only
him a
played.
long.
So Subrata was out after that. I don't think
So
Subrata's played after
Gurpreet
that.
played in what 2015. He
हाँ
was
फिर तो
already sitting in the bench from 2010 no,
yeah, yeah.
2011. Yeah.
No, he was on the bench for a very long time. So 15
Yeah,
to
so
15 to
people don't
17
remember how long Gurpreet was
has
sitting on the
been
bench before
exactly
he managed to take. And I have spoken to Gurpreet. He has zero interest in letting go of that spot. He's like, I have sat there in the bench. I am
for
doing everything I can to ensure that
absolutely.
others sit in the
Good
bench.
reason.
Yeah, and
Fair enough.
that's the
Fair
attitude
enough.
you want as a player.
It's absolutely the
Fair
attitude
enough.
you want.
I, I think Gurpreet starts next
Hmm.
Asian Cup also.
Yeah,
If we qualify.
unless Purba or someone
I
else
mean, we
just
will qualify. I mean, Asian Cup qualification
hey
now should not be
2014
like.
qualification or you're qualifying. It's like
Who scored most of the goals in qualifying this time also?
Chhetri.
yeah.
But I am saying it's not a negotiation in my mind that you don't qualify for Asian Cup anymore. Because they've expanded. We celebrated like crazy when 2019, but nobody mentioned that, oh,
We
suddenly
we
expanded
should
to 24
we
teams.
should and we will are two very different things,
No, no, absolutely
right?
we should. If we don't, then it's an
We should.
absolute catastrophic failure. If you are not in the top 24 in the Asia, which is by far, barring Oceania, the easiest part, and we come from a zone which is the s-
Easiest of the
weakest zone.
easiest.
South
Yeah.
zone is the weakest zone, in my opinion.
No
Uh,
wonder we have
Huh.
one player in AFC Cup.
yeah.
Sarzone is only one playing Asian Cup. Also, remember that the likes of Kuwait and all did not qualify for the Asian Cup. I know we beat them
No, the
1-0.
reason Kuwait did so
Huh.
this is something I don't not many people understand.
Kuwait
It
has been banned for a long
Kuwait
time,
was
really.
banned for a very
Banned
long
for a
time.
long time.
Yeah,
Banned for a long
and
time.
they're
Yes.
just coming back from that ban. So this celebration of beating Kuwait, it needs to be what do you call it? Seems sugar.
Curtailed.
Yeah,
But I'm saying it's not easy to get into the top 20. The way the so competitive this time. It's been super competitive this time. I'm just saying. I'm just debating Sandeep's point that it is a cakewalk
I didn't say
to
cakewalk.
qualify.
I don't want to discuss a
Huh.
situation where we don't qualify because we should qualify. That has to
We
be the
should
attitude.
qualify,
If you don't qualify,
but
then that is like
but
Germany
I
not
I,
qualifying
I
for the
don't
World
see where all I don't see where the goals are going to come from. To be very honest,
Cup.
I
I
don't
don't
see where
care
it's
who
going to come
scores.
from.
Go find somebody who scores. Go check in I League. There's one boy
Gurpreet will
in
score
PIO.
goals.
there's one boy in
Next.
Aizawl. Go see if he's managing to score. Whatever Ishan
That boy in
talent,
Aizawl,
I'm sure that fellow also could have done in the.
that boy in Aizawl, if he moves to East Bengal, he'll just be practicing set piece and training, and he'll play 20 minutes the whole season.
Okay, let's
That is the rumor. Huh.
let's move on. Next question from Mrs. Shaggy. I hope it is Mr. and not Miss or Mrs. or something like that.
Miss, it's Mister
It's
only.
only Mr. So, is it
Shaggy,
time
yeah,
to move?
it's a
Ah,
mister. Yeah, of course.
okay, is it time to move away from the current national team set of players and give other lads? Who are these other lads?
Where are these other
Lot of
lads?
them are in the right age bracket. Again, on paper, but they are in the right age bracket. Not 30, maybe early 20s or mid 20s. So I don't know if it's as easy to move on from this batch as it was from the last one or the one before, which went to the 2011 Asian Cup.
So that is your answer to the question. Where are
Shall
the other players?
shall I tell you guys who I think was the biggest miss this Asian Cup?
Yes, this is your platform, dude. This is the time you should say all of that.
I think it was Danny Deegan.
Oh yeah, the fitness guy.
I think it was Danny Deegan. I think what we saw this time was that after 70 minutes, 75th minute, we went a bit
Dup.
right. But under Danny, we pushed, man.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
pushed and we pushed and we pushed. And I don't think the three of us, at least on this pod, are going to disagree that
No, no,
Danny's
I
probably one of the.
completely agree, and I can also draw a parallel with the women's hockey team because I was covering the qualifiers.
Oh, Danny's gone
No, no,
there, right?
Danny's not gone there. So they
Danny's gone. Danny went to He went to Mumbai City,
uh,
and then he
he
moved.
moved. I don't know where Danny is now, but again, the
Huh.
women's hockey team also got rid of their this thing, the fitness guy, Wayne Lombard, who was with JSW for a very long time.
Wayne
Yeah,
Lombard, huh?
they got rid of
SLC
Wayne
guy.
Lombard after the Tokyo Games, and since then there has been a dip, and that's exactly what we saw during the qualifiers. Also, the girls couldn't last the duration of 60 minutes of game. So fitness is of primary importance. I don't know why we take it for granted कि हाँ लोग fit ही है इसलिए यहाँ खेल रहे हैं, ये तो नहीं खेलेंगे.
Also, we need coaches, fitness coaches like Danny
Yeah.
Tegan for the national team. I'll tell you why. Because at the ISL, the intensity is half.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Intensity is half, right? So you need someone like a Danny, especially for the national team, right? You can't say the boys are used to fitness training at the ISL because those coaches train for that intensity, and you need someone like a Danny specifically
Yeah, who can
preparing for the intensity of international football.
true.
I
Absolutely.
I honestly believe the national team missed a trick by
Having
by,
Danny.
by not trying to keep Danny because by hook or crook, because we really missed him
Right.
this time.
Next one, I think this is what Maulik has to say. Like he's been with us from the very start of this episode. Another aspect is all the three teams are physical, and we were not physical enough.
I don't think physicality was the issue because uh, because what's happening is that we are 2 seconds slower. Boss, physicality comes into play when there's a duel on the pitch, right? But if we are slower to the ball's moving faster. We can only reach the man 3 seconds after he's passed. So physicality, I agree. And someone on Twitter, obviously, some content writers thought, oh, like you guys know nothing. Physicality is it's not the beat and all,
Yeah.
right? Let's let's get to the point where physicality matters. Physicality matters when our decision making is as fast as the other team, right? And then you get into the to
And
the
you
to
have enough
microscopic
examples in
things.
Asian football either, like itself,
Yeah.
where not every like East Asians, not every team is physically blue bulked up, but they are still good.
They are all
It's all about
physically
quality.
good also. They just don't show it because they're that fast with the ball.
And physicality is not just strength, by the way.
Mhm.
It's a lot of things. It's flexibility, it's fascia training from when you're young. It's a whole Football's an entire science. But the thing is, physicality, our boys have a lot of our boys have. You're telling me Jingan doesn't have? You're telling me Anwarli doesn't have? You're telling me Suresh doesn't have? You're telling me Manveer doesn't have? These people have physicality. But you can only use physicality once you get to that point where you are fighting for the ball at that same instant of time. If you're always 2 seconds late to the press, you are there is no point of talking about physicality.
Well, that's on physicality. Does anyone want to answer this question on the the football culture in the Middle Eastern part of the world? Because I think Asian Cup is one place where you get to see that. Otherwise, no one gives a flying fuck about footballing culture in Asia at large. And West Asians, like in general, are like crazy about football. This is something that I have experienced firsthand.
You can read
Sandeep, do you want
James
to take this?
Montague's book When Friday Comes just to understand what football means to these West Asian
Beautiful book.
countries. Very interesting
Beautiful
book.
book.
But it is part of
I
their culture. So when the Western media keeps talking about Qatar not having a football culture, they're lying to you. Or when
Yeah.
Saudi having a small culture and then they're trying to prop it up, they're again lying. Saudi club, the last Champions League winner was a Saudi club. Al Hilal, I think,
No,
in
not
the last one.
no. Orawa won the last
Oh,
one.
then the one before was Al Hilal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so
Yes.
they have, and
Mhm.
Al Hilal has won quite a few titles also.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
these parts have huge
It's
football
a cult
events,
club in
huge
Saudi.
I
culture, huge following, all of those things. May not be
I
followed like, let's say, Boca Juniors or Liverpool, but they have their own cultural style of following, which is something that everybody.
Which is fun, dude. It's different. It is
Yes,
fun to watch.
absolutely. Yes,
Yeah.
Qatar
so
did bring in some people from outside to make noise during the World Cup. That is true, but that doesn't mean that country does not have footballing culture or interest in football.
I spoke to Mahmood Al Amna, and I think olden times Indian football fans who followed Indian football like 5 years ago will remember the genius
Yeah,
that he was.
the genius
The
from Iceland.
Syrian, yes, the Syrian midfielder who moved from Aizawl to East Bengal. Okay, so I asked Al Amna, I said, "Boss, your country is in deep state
Tatters.
tatters, right?" He was Syrian, by the way. He must have been watching today also, right? He's somebody with probably a more personal stake in this game, right?
Yeah.
Syria. So I said, boss, sorry to say this, but your country is in tatters, right? You've been wrecked, right? Um, in spite of that, how do you guys keep producing players? He said. So he explained to me. He said, back home, like organized club football is very little, right? We have like some of it, but it's not great,
Yeah.
right? It's not like here where you have people getting paid like good amount of money on time and all of that. And he, to be fair to him, he was getting paid a significant amount at East Bengal, not ISO, but at East Bengal. He said, but what we have is your notion of unregistered clubs or informal clubs, right? You have Syria, he said there are a lot of gullies. Go to Damascus, they have their own gully clubs, something that Calcutta used to excel at one point of time. So, and that meant that every gully had a club where a kid growing up in gully could go play, not even registered, and they all work on like chanda system. Chanda is, you understand what chanda system is.
Yeah.
They go to every house, pick up like 50 rupees. That even in a war-torn country, they can afford to give that much. And that is how football, at least in Syria, and according to my conversation with him, that is how it happens. And I cannot, and today we saw the gully club system versus the professional system. We know which one won and which one lost. So yeah,
Well, that is in just answering your question. Does West Asia have a footballing culture? It does. A very good one too, which unfortunately
excellent,
comes to fore only during such competitions like the
excellent
Asian
one,
Cup.
excellent
Apart
one.
from that,
What's
Absolutely.
the Gulf Cup or some other such tournaments?
yeah, as
I'd,
long as
I'd,
it is.
I'd love to. I don't know about Sandeep and Naveen, but I'd love to just go to Iraq, watch football at its base levels there one day
Hey,
because
watch
Yeah, yeah.
football anywhere in
I
the
mean,
world
I
is
would
good.
like to do that as well. I
Yeah.
know Mom Hassanin Mubarak from Iraq, who
Hmm.
wrote the book on Iraq football.
Mhm.
I had few doubts and for some stories before. So this is how they. So in the 80s, when Stafford Challenge Cup was going on in Bangalore, Iraq clubs used to come. You know, the 70s, 80s, and all those
Yep.
times. And I was asking him how important was it for the Iraqi clubs to come here and play. So Air Force Club came and played, Students Club came and played, etc. So he said, yeah, it's very important because we were going through a time where there was Gulf War and stuff, and victory, whatever trophy, wherever it is, on a foreign soil was a big deal. So we
Yep.
promoted it as a huge success for our country and our clubs because that will bring us some sort of happiness. So that is how fundamentally important football was there for them. That even during that time, football was something that they found solace and happiness in. So yeah,
Absolutely right.
Iraq would be great.
It's just like sports
I think
in all
take
getting solace and giving relief in times of trouble is something that we have heard and we've seen quite a lot, quite a few times in the past as well, and it's no different for the West Asian world as well.
and also I think it's time to stop using this word for Constantine style of football called haram ball. I sorry that haram ball got us results. It dragged us to the very verge of making it to the last 16 of the Asian Cup.
Please don't remind
So
that fellow gave away the penalty. Okay.
and that fellow gave us the penalty, but
Gave
before
away
that
the
some other
penalty
player,
because you sat down for 90 minutes and he ran himself into the ground.
yeah,
So
some
that
other,
was
and if he wasn't there, by the way, if the player in question who gave the penalty wasn't there, it probably could have been 3-0, 4-0.
Yeah, yeah,
Also,
Pranay
just
agreed.
Haldar
saying,
was
he
brilliant.
was the best player on the pitch. He was the best player on the pitch for that particular match.
Yeah.
He was
Yes.
the best player on the pitch. But the thing is, like Indian football, literacy is also a long way to go, right? Just before Haldar gave the penalty, another player gave away the ball, which resulted in that
Yeah.
penalty. So, yeah,
Just domino effect. Well, we can take one question, okay? One more question, but I'm pretty sure everyone wants to answer this. What changes should be implemented going forward? This is something that we have discussed quite a few times
I
at length.
honestly don't have anything to add
No, no. So
because
hear me out. Hear me out. I don't want you to say what like the broad scale things changes that you would want to see in Indian football, because that is something all of us have spoken about. But immediate future, what do you want? Like, how do you want the fans to react? How do you want the team to come out of this? How do you want the players? How what is the immediate future for this team?
just nothing, right? Fans will react how the fans want to react, and I think they are entitled to react however they want to because they are fans and they are spending money or time or whatever effort into watching it. So fans will be fans. Players also, I'm sure, will bounce back because they'll come back and immediately start playing leagues. For the national team, look, we can't keep doing this thing of making excuses all the time. We have to have some clear plans. If we can't get there, then maybe we should look at other people. And not talking about the coach, I'm also talking about people upstairs, because we it's not really something that we don't. How to improve football is not or any sport is not something that is extremely difficult to understand. There are n number of examples that you can take and implement, and this is nothing that we don't know. So we have to just stop making excuses. Fix your house first. There are people who have been sacked who are coming back and then staying there and then talking and then high court case. No, fix your house. Ask your state association if you're not going to do whatever we want you to do, football development projects. Then either suspend them or don't give them any money or do something, punish them in some way, shape or form. And if states like Mizoram or some other who are doing really well, give them more support. Go do. You are not going to develop
my
football all over the country. Whoever is doing well, you
my,
support them.
my
Rest of the
question
people can do whatever they want.
my question to that changes is that sometimes I think about it and I gasp. Where do we start? Right? Let me just tell you a laundry list of what's going on currently. Right? Currently, we have officials fighting. It's a very public fight. We know that. Right? Then we have clubs fighting. Right? That we have infighting within the federation. Right? We have federations fighting. Right? We have the complaint that referees are not good. Right? We have state leagues which are not functional. We have players getting crores and sitting on the bench. So where do we start? Where do we start? It's an unholy mess that we are at. Where do we start? We have the under 17 league, which resumed after God knows how long, 5 years, and it's over in the space of you blink and you miss it. People are playing 6 matches, whatever, 8 matches, right? People are playing, but the clubs are shelling out lakhs and lakhs and crores of rupees to travel all the way via flight and and then playing a few matches and coming back. It's ridiculous to even think that the people sitting there understand football. I am telling you right now, if there were 10 people who knew football in that house, in the federation house, and it's just 20 kilometers from my house, by the way, right? They put a big football on top of the house, but that's the only football you can see there. That's the only football you can see there, and
See or
nothing
otherwise, that's the
else.
only football there.
That's the only football there, and nothing else. Okay? A guy came in. He said he promised sweeping changes. What did he do? He sacked any and everybody there who had half a knowledge of football, who had the knowledge of doing leagues at a cheap cost. He sacked an entire department. And 15-year-olds with keyboards from a particular state want me to believe that we are by. No, we are not. We're talking facts. Talking facts here. Like what idiocy of Indian football. All of these things I said are just the iceberg, and these are 8 problems are listed. I can coaches not good, right? No player education. When I go to the grassroots, right? When I go to the grassroots, when I go to my own foundation and I tell them things like third man. These are 9 and 10-year-olds with limited access to education, not like the privileged sector, right? They ask me, sir, what is third and what is man? I can't be in those schools teaching them basic stuff, right? When I tell them 4 plus 4, ठीक है, it's Indian football suffers from a lot of problems, right? You pick and choose where to start. You pick one problem and solve that first, right? So these changes, we can talk how they might sack somebody. But the thing is, the people who take the calls, they never change. They are always there. Players come and go, coaches come and go, all of these people come and go. But the officials, they never move out. They are there. They are there and they don't want to leave their position of power. I'm hearing Praful Patel is still has a huge sway over FIFA. And we know this. It's not an open secret. It's not secret. It's open. It's out there.
Here is the
Not about.
thing. We are always the AIFF has always been short-sighted. It's 4 years, headlines, headlines. It has become much worse, worse, worse. We need someone who's long-sighted and who is not going to get the credit he deserves now. I promise you, if you do something and we get credit, I will write a book about you. Just do it, so that your whatever you have
Huh?
achieved is forever written in books or whatever. I'll do however you
Huh?
want me to write. I'll write it.
I will tweet every day about you. I will put you in my pin tweet. I will put you in my header.
Hey,
Just
you
do
don't
it.
have
That,
much followers.
that's
I don't think that will sway the
it
person.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But we're crying out for one good administrator,
We have none.
right? We have one Tete Hamar, but he's sitting in a position there are so many people above and so many people below him, right?
People like Tete and all, I feel, should be allowed to run his thing. Though the AIFF is
His
a
thing,
quagmire,
man, don't
don't
interfere.
interfere.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
don't interfere. Don't make headlines and then tell him, oh, you know what? We need you to make this headline come true. Don't do that. Let him do it, right? Let him hold the press conferences. Let him say this is the plan of action. This is what we go with. This is what we're doing, and bring everybody online. I swear, if that man becomes president tomorrow or GS or whatever, man, I don't care. Head of Indian football, ठीक है, जो भी नाम दे दो उसको. I don't give a shit at this point of time. He will do something because that fellow has seen firsthand what the lack of resources does. And Indian football, mind you, still suffers from a criminal lack of resources, but it is still the second highest funded sport in this country,
Correct.
right? CSR alone into Indian football, and that is a problem for that is a discussion some other day. We will start speaking about the numerous organizations which claim to work on Indian football. CSR organization alone in Indian football get 500 to 1000 CR. There is a foundation which gets 115 CR every year. That's a budget of 2.5 ISL clubs, right? Sorry, aunties. Sorry, sorry, Mrs.
you must
But
have come in thinking there is somebody who's giving yarn.
No, she's not
Like
hearing
on
it.
TV
It's in
and
her
all.
ears.
115 CR, right? And that foundation hasn't produced a single 11-a-side team in its history, right? So let's stop complaining. Let's stop saying we don't have infrastructure, we don't have funds, we don't have all of this. Please, yeah. Like, I mean, it's high time. Like, it's high time we stop lying to everybody.
True.
We just keep on lying to our people, and
Yeah.
I saw a tweet
that
from Mehir the other day, and he said football is the only place where the top people, despite whatever performance in any other industry, they are out. In
Yeah.
football, they are not out. And I thought
this
that
is
was such a quaint tweet from him. I think that was very good. Yeah,
no, it's true.
yeah, it's true.
It's true. Here they get appraised. Here they get appraised. Here they get appraised.
Well,
There are people. There are the people at ISL clubs
No,
who had ready-made academies to them, right? Everybody knows which club I'm talking about, and they ran one of India's best academies into the ground, and nobody's saying anything. So boss, performance related bonus, performance related appraisal doesn't work. That's for all of us.
yeah. नहीं,
Right?
एक तो कुछ नहीं मिलता है.
Even when we were in journalism also it applied to us.
कुछ नहीं मिलता है.
Even now that we're out of journalism also it applies to us. All this doesn't apply in Indian football.
Well, I think Murli has a very good question. Do you think Jingan missing
No.
injury
No.
time played a crucial role?
No.
I actually think he missing injury time next time. We should ensure that he comes on the pod and give some time to injury time.
But otherwise, Letty is asking why is everybody already thinking we reached
I was
World Cup
about
round
to
3
bring that question up now. I have
What
to
is it?
figure
I
out
didn't-
it.
because we beat Kuwait, right? Because we beat Kuwait, and now everybody's Now everybody's on cloud. Now we beat
वेट
Kuwait.
को
Now
हराया
and now
हमने.
after
I said the
now,
same thing, right? Why do we assume that we are there? Really have my doubts. Honestly, I really have my doubts. I see these performances and I'm like, yeah, you play one half like this. Yes, Subhashish might block 5 shots. So Gurpreet might save 10 shots. But if you keep getting shots and if you don't score at the other end, which is more important,
Yep.
that's a big problem.
Yeah.
Major problem.
with 110 CR, but Dinesh Kumar says we can't get to such Syrian level even for 10 decades upfront. Dinesh Kumar, I want to really know this. Does Syrian football have a 110 CR budget currently?
The
ये
entire
बता
country
करो.
does not have that much money, I think.
Right, here,
Bit too much.
this is the
Bit too much.
interesting thing, right? When you look at individual players or the league or interest in football in India and all, it's all increased. But the point is, the world is also moving forward very fast.
So
And
we are
if we
taking one
don't
step,
keep
the
up,
world has already taken four.
yeah, if we don't keep up and we are going at first gear and the world is going at third gear, then you're still falling behind.
Exactly. And falling behind at a much rapid pace.
Yeah.
There's something. Dinesh Kumar once again. Hello, Dinesh Kumar. A long question. Please read yourself, okay?
Problem with Indian football is like a spider web. There's nothing.
No, don't work top to bottom. Work bottom to top. This is what we keep
ये
saying.
टॉप डाउन
Don't work
अप्रोच तो
top
सब
to
पहले भी
bottom.
ट्राई किया है ना, कुछ हुआ नहीं
Top down
उससे.
approach is a fail. Top down approach is a fail, right? Top,
And can we also
first
say Syria's players are mostly playing in the Western?
and I'm just
Yeah,
going,
they're
I'm
not
going to
home.
say this.
Like they don't play in Syria as such. I don't
I'm
think so.
I'm also going to counter Dinesh Kumar's statement on 110 CR budget. 110 CR is what AIFF is running on. By the way, it's running on little more than that. Then you have 12 ISL clubs, 12 ISL clubs into 50 CR. Chalo 45 CR average le lete hain. That's how much. That's 600 CR. Plus you have 12 more I League clubs, which are 15 CR, 10 CR average, right? Indian football as an industry is today closer to 1,000 CR, where 1,000 CR is being spent on it, right? So money is not the issue. Money is not the issue. Money being spent wisely is the
अपने
issue.
पास पैसा है क्या करने का मालूम नहीं उसके साथ.
There is an academy in India. I'm going to tell the viewers, I'm not name, but it's pretty obvious which the academy in India, which actually trying its hardest. One of our friends, a great philosopher in Indian football, has joined that setup also. They spent almost they spend like 10 lakhs per boy per year, right? This academy. So मत बोल कि पैसे नहीं है
True.
इस्तेमाल गलत हो रहा है.
Yes. Yes. Okay, there's one question on women's team. Like, do you think there's something disappeared?
At least the men got to play 3 games and disappoint us. वो तो those guys didn't even play. They played one match. They didn't even get a chance to play their whole.
पूरा
I
कोटा
can
खेलने
only
नहीं मिला
feel for
उन्हें.
them. I can only feel for them. And Dinesh is right. Syria had a culture. They built an ecosystem. They won Arab Cup. Omar Khirbin, Asian Player of the Year.
Yes.
Right? I agree.
And Amar has been
Ecosystem
playing in
already
UAE and Emirati League for 5, 6, 7 years now. So that level of football is different. A lot of them are not playing at home. So
No. Some are playing in Argentine first division, Peru first division.
Argentine first division, if you have to play there, I mean, that player is some player.
No, here Aram se somebody on Twitter will say, our boys should move to Europe, play Croatia, Argentina. They think these people, these
Our
nations
players
are just
have
waiting
gone to
for us
Europe and they have not been able to
break
do
through.
much. I think Bhutia is
I am
the one
saying
who played the most.
I'm saying why we looking at Croatia? Start with Lithuania, start with Estonia, start playing there, and let's take it from there. See, Sandeep, I disagree that there is not a single club in Europe which will take our boys. There is.
No,
Right?
what I'm saying
But the
is
thing is,
the whole dialogue of us going to Europe, whenever that has happened, we have not been able to crack it.
ये ओसाम क्या होता है?
the thing is, are we ready to shun everything, all of the riches, everything,
No.
and focus on
I know
on
one
that?
or two who are really keen on going, but unfortunately it didn't work.
Som Kumar, for example, I read the Som Kumar interview somewhere. Som Kumar, the BFC reserves guy who's playing in Slovenia, I think, either first tier or second tier. I think started with second tier. he gave an interview saying, I don't want to come back for some years now. I want to make sure I focus on my football.
Yeah, there are
So
few.
that's
There are
great.
few of them, right? I think
Huh.
when other one or two wanted to go, but unfortunately, whatever work permit and that
The,
didn't work out.
the thing is, what happens is they spend a couple of years there, then they struggle. They don't barely earn any money. They have to do their own cooking. They have to do their own cleaning. All of this happens. Then ISL clubs comes. They says, "Beta, ye lo 60 lakh."
And everything will be
What do you
taken care
do?
of.
Yeah, what do you do? What do you do at that point of time?
It's money at the end
You
of the
turn
day.
your back on, and remember, careers are not infinite, right?
Yeah,
Careers
they're
are finite. Careers are like
I mean, do
10,
you
10
remember
years,
one of
15
our
years.
early podcasts that we did with Sunil Chhetri? And he was saying that when he was in Portugal, he said, if I had been in Portugal, if I had come here when I was 21, 22, I would have stayed on. Tried
Yep.
hardest to make it. But I went later in
Sunil
my,
went at 27, I think.
yeah, somewhere 26,
26.
27. So he's like,
26,
it became later. And then obviously you had the camp and all of that stuff. So he wanted to come. So there was other circumstances also. But different people, you can't blame anybody for making certain decisions.
Who anyone says OIC, will kill that person.
OCI and all
Sorry?
this, yeah, just leave it.
OCI,
So
yeah,
why
yeah.
do it's such a fucking? It's like a
Really,
plaster on your. It's a Hansa plaster on the wound. It's
I
not really
actually
going to.
think the government will change its
Man,
law
why
for
doesn't
a team.
why doesn't anybody look at China? Look at China. See what's happened. They naturalize, right? They naturalize so many people, right? They spend crores and crores, right, on getting these players, playing them in their leagues, naturalizing them. What happened?
They are out
Did
in the
anything
group
happen?
stages.
No, this is the problem, right? And I'm tired of this agents also just talking non-stop about OCI. If Yan Danda wants
In
to play,
in
he can come
particular,
and
there's
play.
one agent. In particular, one or two agents only, and we know who they
You
are,
want them to
right?
come and
Because
play, you tell them, you let go of your passport and come. If you think that much about India, you care that
Yeah,
much, you
if you're
come.
that
I agree.
patriotic about the country
I
of
am
your
telling you
origin,
that
I
guy, Yan
agree.
Danda comes to India, wants to play, he will get a very good contract to play in India, maybe even better than what he gets in the UK. And he can play for the national team for the next 8 years. Written in
Hmm.
writing. He'll play next 8 years. Just leave it.
But will he give up his
Of course
passport?
not.
It comes from the fact,
Of
of course
course
he won't
not.
give his passport.
But
That's not
Michael
no.
Chopra's story, if he thought he could play for England, that's why he didn't take it in the first time.
Hmm.
That time when you could actually have dual partner, this one. First time when they approached him, he felt like he could play for England. And when he realized that you can't play for India and England is when this thing happens. So Yan Danda, if he could play for England, he would have played for England. He is from England. This whole thing is happening because that looks very, very unlikely. That's all.
This whole OCI PIO discussion happening because a headline was needed, a headline was generated, everybody ran with it,
But
right?
why?
And
This is what I
it's
understand. This is a headline we ran with from 2013. Why are we
yeah, even
continuing
right.
to run with the same headline? Just
And the
yes, the
and like
Stimac
what is
can say
actually
it.
disappointing is why is Stimac saying this? Because he
No,
apparently
Stimac can say
came in with a
because he
lot of
is trying
research
to
and
say
all of that,
things.
right?
No, let him say, right? It's his prerogative to say, look, there are other teams who are doing this thing and it's working for them. Why can't India do it? He can say it, but why do we have to make it a news every five times? Like every 4 weeks, he says the same thing. Why do we have to keep writing about it? At some point, as journalists, also needs to take a little bit
It's
of a reality check and
pointless.
figure out this is a never-ending circle.
journalists. I don't call them. I don't call most of them
Maybe
journalists anymore.
influencers. Hey, any
I can't call them.
information on IWL2
No,
format
no.
league?
They IWL2 right now they're just thinking about what to put on the Asian Cup copy on the AIFF website, right? So IWL2, see, and this is the problem, right? There's no calendar. They 10 days before, excuse, like my this is my cat, right? Smiley, right? Who's also kind of also kind of frustrated with Indian football. Injury time reaching half century mark, we try. But the thing is, IWL2 will probably happen tentatively somewhere around Feb. That's what they said, but it's all tentative, right? All India Tentative Federation. That's what it should be called. वैसे भी, ठीक है? So it'll probably be communicated to the clubs half an hour before the kickoff of the first match, saying
खेलना है,
ये kickoff
ये
है,
फॉर्मेट है.
आ जाना उस दिन. ये फॉर्मेट है, ये kickoff है, आ जाना उस दिन, ये rules है, right? So while we were discussing Asian Cup, right? Because and whenever something like this happens, I get all the messages. I tell them, you please send it to those people who are considered the flag bearers of Indian football journalism. Don't send me all of this, right? Somebody was crazy. They were ranting. They were from a club, and they said, we are talking about the national team, but look at the issues that are lying underneath. They are from a club, and you won't believe the shambles the under 17 league has had, right? From 2006 born to no 2007 born, they keep switching every day. They said that you're talking about producing players, right? How are we supposed to produce players if we are always in this limbo? They said पहले 2006 बोला, फिर 2007 बोला, कल बोलेंगे 2008. ठीक है, we will go on to do PCMA, TW3 test, everything will do, spend a lot of money, all of this will happen, right? And then one fine day they'll wake up, they'll smell the coffee, and they'll change the rules accordingly, according to their own. Okay, they'll spend months training most of their guys, right? So, boss, if, like I said, no tentative calendar, IWL2, भाई IWL ही हो रहा है, वो ही बड़ी बात है, right? IWL2 तो I don't even want to imagine. And Shaggy is right. There was a Feb 4 final bids. But why the hell are we bidding for IWL2? I don't get it. Why is there a bid? The state league champions, they can come and participate, right? We still don't have a pyramid, guys. We still don't have a pyramid. It's 2024. We still don't have a defined pyramid. Who makes it to I League 3? Right? Tete, one thing he's done is he's pushed promotion relegation in as many leagues as possible. IWL he's pushed. I League 2, the teams that used to qualify, they did not have any sort of incentive to come back next year. He's done it. That's what I'm saying. The guy knows his football. If the guy can introduce promotion relegation in Mizoram, right, where the essentially if somebody pours their life savings into to this thing and he can be stringent about it,
Yeah.
why are we so flaky about it at the national level? आई लीग लेवल पे कोई आके बोलते हैं, सर घर पे बिजली नहीं था, रेलीगेशन वेव ऑफ कर दो. What? Like what is this excuse? You got relegated. Eat your humble pie and go to the next this thing. This is the first year. I'm so glad because this year also Sudeva and Ken expectedly asked for it because we've set up very bad precedent, right? And without relegation, trust me, half of your development process goes out of window right there because you have
Right.
clubs meandering towards the end of the season, just randomly playing games with no intent, nothing, right? So my point, right? There are so many underlying issues before you get to a national team. National team is the top
Yeah.
of a national FA's pyramid. We are always looking at ऊपर से झांक रहे हैं national team, right? एक Stimac, एक Sinclair, ये सब लेके आओ, चलो खत्म करते हैं कहानी, right? But we are not looking at the bottom. Building is crumbling. Building on shaky foundation.
Building has got no foundation.
Building on no foundation at all. The emperor has no clothes at all.
Yeah.
हाँ, एम्पर को बस घोड़ी पे बिठा दिए, उसको मेगाफोन पकड़ा दिए, तू जा भाई, तू जा, तू चल, आज ओसीआई है, आज ओसीआई है, कल कुछ और है, कल कुछ और है, कल विल से दैट हाँ विल एक्सह्यूम द गोस्ट ऑफ पेले, वो खेलने लगेगा इंडियन टीम के लिए.
अरे छोड़ो, वहां नहीं जाएंगे हम. Let's move on. Sandeep, how's KSFA doing after Satya left?
Pretty much the same. They have set everything up there, and I think Satya still has a fairly strong voice there. Maybe not in an executive level, but he still has a lot strong voice, and they picked people who have worked previously there itself. And see, now the structure is basically set for Karnataka football. They just have to ensure that
Very good.
it doesn't crumble. That's all.
Okay, sir.
I think KSF is actually leading the way for everybody right now.
Especially
as
in
much as
game and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
As much as I hate to say it, right? It's no longer just hype. It's happening. Like things are happening. There 300 clubs applied for the C division there, and almost 72 ended up playing it. Like, I mean, hats off.
No, more than 100 played. But not all of them are full members. Some of them are affiliate members and stuff like that. So.
It doesn't matter here. In order to even sniff the grass on which the the senior leagues are played, I need to pay 10 lakhs.
Yeah, that's the difference. Here they don't need to pay too much money, and you don't need to be a full member also. They try to make sure everything is happening. They give away
I don't want
halls
to
to
be a full member. See,
other
the thing
places
is,
when tournaments are
the thing
happening
is,
also.
I know why entry is being restricted here because they are afraid that, oh, voting ke samay something will go wrong and they'll vote us out. Don't give me voting rights. Give me playing rights, boss.
That's what KSFA has done. No voting rights, but you can
If
play.
I'm spending, if I'm spending 5 lakh, 10, whatever, if I'm basically spending pocket change on developing so many players, and trust me, somewhat we've done from our side, we've developed state level players at least with the minimal, with like fraction. I can't spend 200% of my annual budget to try and get into the pyramid.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I'm already doing it. So
Uh,
it's crazy.
Feedback from
Question
I
to
League 3 format. I heard really good things because they were very
uh,
happy that they can play I League 3, have finish at the right time when the January windows open, and then they're moving straight. So there is a run of games those teams are getting. So a lot of them are
I
quite
think to
happy.
answer, I think, and I also heard good things about from I League two teams. Also, they said for the first time, it's not a crapshoot.
Yeah.
It's not a lucky draw. It's proper format this time where before it used to be a bit of a lottery
Yeah.
because
You
you're playing
qualify
seven
and then
games
you
in
play the
20.
qualifier.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
yeah.
You're playing 7 games in 20 days. Anything can happen. It's all a free for all. This time properly. Question to Orgo, who pocketed the fees cut from selling. We've discussed this, right? We won't name because defamation, but
I did not see
those
this
people,
question.
those people are still. They did not shut it down because
No,
of
no, they
that.
didn't shut it because of that.
But those people are still in the ecosystem, by the
What
way,
a
and
what
they're
a
still
hilarious
pocketing.
thing, right? The federation is running under 17 things, and then you are paying money to develop them. I understand.
You are paying
Reliance,
money to the
Reliance, I
federation.
understand because they are a private entity. You develop player, okay, you get
Huh,
development money.
huh.
But this is hilarious.
But the thing is, none of the so-called journalists questioned it. Number one, only we on our pod we spoke about it. Number two, the money didn't even get to the
Of
federation
course
and
not.
was reinvested in football. It went into some pockets, right? And people know that it was rooted through a club also. That
Yeah.
club is also now secure. Nothing's happening. No sanctions on the club. No sanction on people. Just we were promised, the court is taking it up. There'll be stringent punishment. I want to say BALLS to all of this. Huh.
It's not an acronym, by the way.
It's
I know.
funny.
Any other state
Now
affairs?
suddenly, so a lot of interesting questions are popping up. When you
Yeah.
moved away from the national team,
Any
Yeah.
other state affairs?
No one gives a flying fuck about that actually.
Any other state affairs doing any work, good work aside from KSFA and Mizo FA? Hard to say, boss. Hard to say. But I know my friend is working the Meghalaya FA.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
doing a
they're doing
level
good.
best.
They're doing good.
He's doing a level best. They are actually doing Meghalaya. Watch out. Give it 10 years.
Yeah,
Give it some
they're
time.
doing good.
Meghalaya, watch
WF
out.
are doing a wonderful job
And
doing nothing.
for all of
Fila
the
for the
problems
win.
in Manipur, now obviously not, but before, despite Manipur FA having some issues there, league was actually fairly well contested, and people were really interested in doing things there. But again, that's not a association running anything, but just generally.
Yeah, the way Buddy has just joined us, I think we discussed unfit Sahal and substitution and
Hmm.
Steamak out. Oh,
Do you
is
Bleeding,
think
Steamak
we are
out?
bleeding because of the absolute shit show run in the name of AF 20 years under Praful Patel? It wasn't just,
yeah, it was just
it's overall shit show. Overall shit show. My question to Srinidhi is there were clubs who were given 10-year guarantee. You will not get relegated, right? You will not get relegated. Your only job is to develop Indian football. Why did you put the money into the first team, right? Why did you put the money into the first team when you were not going to get relegated? You could have played Sandeep Naveen and be in the first team and you still won't have got relegated. You would have
Yeah,
lost 40-0. That's a different thing, right?
confidence. I like it.
Okay, Sandeep 13-0.
Sandeep is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
in my day, I
No,
was a half decent player.
Naveen has disagreed to that
Naveen
multiple
No,
times.
doesn't
no.
even know how to play properly. Full thug life football he plays. He's kicked the shit out of me
See,
so many times.
yeah, see ball, hit ball. That's
But
what
he
I was
see
taught.
ball, miss
That's
ball,
how
hits
good
man. That is his thing. He's a golden rule playing.
but my point to Shane is the ISL clubs had 10 years, right? I understand there's pressure from the owners, there's pressure from everybody to try and spend on the first team, right? But why did you spend on the first team when you had no relegation? In fact, made financial sense to, because an under 18 player is not demanding crores of rupees. It makes sense to, it makes business sense also to put the money there. The only sense it doesn't make is the egotistical sense. It's only your ego that forces you to match a Mohan
But
Bagan.
funnily enough, ego
And
is the one that is driving Indian football. A lot of the clubs are run purely on ego. They don't
purely on
want to
ego
shut
only,
down
huh?
because my ego will get hurt. So I'll just continue to push it as far as possible.
We've we have but we have a prime example of a club that
Yeah.
is running on something like that and is not paying the players, by the way.
Or
By
anybody
the
else.
by the end of it, the staff boys will be, the staff
Playing.
boys will be playing for the first team. The Messios will be playing striker for that particular team by the looks of it, right? So, do you think the turf work for Arunachal FA was turf work and all? Take Roshan GK's question, flash it here.
What is it?
Where is Roshan?
Do you think the turf work for Arunachal FA was, turf work is another very easy way to just get brownie points? Easy brownie points, this is, right? For your information, Mizoram had to put in a hell lot of work before it got funding from FIFA for those all-weather turfs, right? So, so I don't think so. What happened to Andhra FA Press? Bhardwaj Reddy's question. He had a tiff with these guys. No, he was the one. Gopal
Yeah.
Krishna
He was
Kosaraju was the one
sending,
putting.
I will tell you this.
Oh my
Loki.
God, so many
He
mails
was
from that
sending
man.
mails. So see, all
No,
of us
good,
got it. To the
good,
point,
good,
I
good.
actually
He was.
told a current journalist who didn't get it that I will send it to you. You follow it up.
Do
No, I will
something.
send it to you. We've already said about these things on the podcast. So if you want
Hmm.
to follow up, follow up. You don't have the email, I'll send. But there's in
Hmm.
which
And Sharad is right. If KFA is doing their best to spoil the football culture, Sharad, I
my
can't tell
God, I
you,
tell you, man, this is so true.
especially what they're doing to the top club, man. Like, I mean, stop trying to kill the golden goose, man. Like what KFA is doing with KBFC. I mean, I wish we could only speak about
They are not
that
really
on the
doing a
screen.
good job at all.
They are not. No, they are
Then
actively hampering.
they're
They are actively
I'm
hampering
actively hampering.
KBFC.
First of all, there was a time when there was Takola Trophy, Nehru Trophy, Setnaji
Yeah.
Trophy, the Scissors Cup, so many of these tournaments that used to happen in different parts of Kerala, right? Now all that 11 side is gone. Your 11 side tournament is one, which
What?
is not the biggest of leagues, but okay, at least you have one league. Your Super League never took off. You are actively hampering sevens football. Sevens football is the one that is keeping football alive in some sense in many parts. So you have really done a bad job. I hope you change it because you have a culture there. All you just need to do is nurture it. You
You
two
have.
teams, one team who's extremely well supported, probably the most vocal fans and the stadium capacity filled. All
You can say the country because they have the highest average at
yeah,
home.
so
You
they are
can say the
absolutely
country.
there. Yeah, absolutely. And the second team who's a champion team in men's and women's football.
You are a very well-rounded
Yeah.
outfit for
So,
that matter.
so all you need to do is help them. Their stadium. They need help with the
Uh,
stadium. Help with the stadium. Whatever you can do to make their lives a little bit easier. Little.
and one can ask, okay, what's happening to the 350 CR also, but no
Yeah.
point on be
Srinidhi is
asking.
right. I would have made it to the Sunday league at least. Telling you.
No, Srinidhi is not right, but
You never played football with me, or you don't know the skills that I
I
play.
have heard instances. Anyway, Dinesh Kumar transition. This says transition from under
Or for
Srinidhi's
being a
comment says
hater.
transition under 16
For being a hater
AFC.
over here. About other people.
Under 16 AFC we qualify regularly, but not. I think one day it was
Hey, where do we qualify?
it was
Under
post.
16, we
It was
sort of.
under
Yeah.
16 we do, under 17 Asian Cup and all we do, under 19 Asian Cup and under 23
Because that is
Olympic.
when those people
And
physicality
one day
reaches our
somebody
level.
posts one day somebody posed the same question to Prad on his Twitter, and he gave the most hilarious and the most on spot. He said, presumably because we can't do age fraud twice.
Yeah.
That is why this happens.
By under
And I
19 to
can't tell
19-year-olds are at their peak, and our 23-year-olds are. There is no more difference per se. Under
yeah.
23.
See, 20-year-olds can beat up on 15 and 16-year-olds, but 23-year-olds find it slightly more tougher to beat on more quality. quality 18 and 19
Yeah.
results. That is it.
Our guy has a question on NFC Goa.
Okay.
Asked to see what
Nobody's criticizing ISL. Lohan and Group has clearly taken it out of question. Nobody's criticizing ISL. We in fact think ISL has done a lot for Indian
yeah, I am
football.
not willing to
Like
criticize them for it.
that, no, nobody's criticizing ISL. We are just saying the teams may not have gone by pure business since they've gone egotistical since, which is also we understand because ego is the one running Indian football. Please try and understand what we are saying. Don't take things out of context. Uh, Lone Goat, we fans would like to extend our expensive global hatred emulation to lavish bungalows and AFF members with 12 lakh. And they're tweeting from there. I mean, look at the ridiculousness of it all and look at ridiculous of tweets also. And to whoever thought that guy was a good administrator,
Shaji said that
I
he'll
hope
let us
you
know
never
about
start a
his
company.
thoughts in a couple of days. No,
Yeah.
that's something very said.
Couple of days he will let us know thoughts.
Thoughts. He's just
Austin,
gathering his
Actually,
thoughts right now.
waiting for that.
huh.
Right now,
I
he's
think,
gathering his
yeah, I
thoughts.
think ask the question to be asked from FC Goa. We are FC Goa tried. FC Goa really tried. When a team is playing 40 friendly matches with its under 17 team, right? But is playing 3 official matches, anybody would get tired of doing it year after year. One year the Goa under 17 team FC Goa played 40 unofficial matches. When it comes to official competition, nothing. Right?
Hands
Nikhil
up in
Vaishnav
the
asks, Sandeep, what about Bengaluru football stadium? Any updates?
Updates
Still
and
there.
remake or whatever. That is still in the court. Nobody has figured out. That entire shit show started in 2014 or something. It's still not over.
Hmm.
And people try to do. If I'm telling you, whoever picked it up, I don't care if BFC picked it up. I don't care if Ozone picked up or later on there was a time when some other builders also wanted to do something. Somebody picked up and did something with it. It would have been really beneficial for Bangalore football. But that being said,
Absolutely.
what they have done with the stadium assets is also pretty commendable. So let's hope they can continue to do those things. And yeah, they need to at some point get better
Hmm.
facilities and all done for sure.
Hmm.
But nothing.
And at some
Vishnu
point,
Raj,
we
It's
need to
a
think of
court
wrapping up this episode as well.
situation.
Vishnu Raj says, and I want to counter his point. Vishnu Raj says DFAs like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Kolkata should organize Nopang League. 100% agree. But my whole point is investing in the metro cities isn't really giving us any results. What we're seeing is that by the time kids hit 14, 15, I've seen this personally. I've spoken to a lot of parents also, especially in the pay to play sector. Parents say, "What's Zara? He'll stop playing soon. He'll stop playing by 14."
Hey, but I also think in a place like Mumbai, the WFI focuses only on Mumbai. That is their job is not to focus on bloody Mumbai. They're supposed to focus on the entire state, right?
There is no
अरे
focus
पहले
on
मुंबई
Mumbai
ठीक
also.
से कर
Who are
ले
we kidding?
पहले मुंबई ठीक से कर ले
वो
See,
वो तो छोड़ दो, वो तो करते ही नहीं है.
you remember what one of the greatest thinkers of Indian football he said this conception that football needs to spread is a myth. When you have limited resources, you first try and extract. You first tell me this question, Naveen. You're based in Bombay, right? Is every
He is
kid
not
in
based in
Bombay?
Bombay and all. What in Kalyan?
He's based in different
He's,
districts.
he's based in
Kalyan.
Bombay like how I am based in Bombay. Okay, it's the same.
Yeah. He's from Navi Bombay. He's from Navi
I'm
Bombay.
from no Bombay.
He's in
No
Kalyan.
Bombay. He's from,
2 hours
okay.
away from Bombay.
But because he's 2 hours away from Bombay, because he has a proximity on his side,
Yeah.
is every kid in Bombay either watching or playing or is interested in football? I think the answer is no. So I'm saying let FIFA do Bombay properly first. Then let's go to Pune, Kolhapur, and
No,
what
if that is the case, why don't you like they can do the other way around, right? You go to places where there is interest in football,
But
right?
then that
You go to
doesn't
places.
help them with the Bombay thing, no?
That is exactly what I'm saying. This
That is exactly the
you
point. Every year we see Kolhapur El Clasico. Then do something. No, 2 players have come from Kolhapur in the last 10 years. Two. With that culture, with that fan base, two. How is that possible?
That is
Correct.
WIFA for you.
Right. Take the other question. Kerala government announced a 800 crore PR bomb. Perfectly termed it PR bomb only. That is. Hmm.
I mean,
How exactly are what are the
I
countries?
hope Argentina comes.
Hmm.
You want to go watch, no?
No. I just want to see them follow through on something. So
It's not going to happen.
No.
See, it's not going to happen, right? We discussed
You
this. It's
never could
mostly
have.
culture only. It's mostly culture only, and they have 1/10 of football budget also. To be very honest, they want on football budget also. All of those people playing in the Syrian league, how much are they making?
They're making enough to run
I
their
tell you,
family.
I went to Vietnam, right? I spoke. The national team was they are not making as much as us. In fact, way lesser. The average footballer playing in the V League, top league, is making the equivalent of about between 8 to 20 lakhs per annum in Indian currency,
But what is
right?
their living expense?
Living expense is almost as much as ours, only slightly cheaper. I would say it's about food is cheaper slightly, but it's not that different also. ऐसा भी नहीं है
Yeah.
कि there's a vast difference, right?
This Orko went to Halong Bay and he spent all his money there.
I actually went to Ho Chi Minh City. I watched 3 matches there, and they were crazy support. That was crazy for dead rubbers also. Crazy support. Ho Chi Minh
Cool. I
in and around Ho Chi Minh only, there are
Mhm.
4 teams, right? And guess how many teams are there in and around our capital, the place where I'm sitting right now, the Great Delhi,
There is
ISL.
one parliament.
There's one parliament.
No, there are two parliaments.
The only guy playing football here is the guy getting paid 12 lakhs to tweet from his account. That's the only guy. And the stupidity of it, C division, B division, A division, Premier division is happening on the weekdays in hot
Oh yeah,
weather, right?
that is
In
that.
hot weather, right? The over 37 league where Sir is playing is happening on a weekend, do, under floodlights, nicely in evening time. I had no words.
Okay.
I had no words for Sir.
I think that should be a good note for us to wrap up today's
हाँ,
episode. It's been like bloody 1.5 घंटा हो गया है.
1.5 घंटा हो गया हाँ.
मुझे भूख लगी है.
Okay.
Cool. I think we should wrap up. India is out of the Asian Cup if you were not aware so far, and we've had a lengthy discussion. Not much about about the national team, but a lot about football in India in general. I think that is what got people excited a lot as we ended
But
up.
plus,
to
please
the
like,
game.
follow, share, and subscribe. Naveen, you
Yeah,
always forget to say this. Bad
yeah,
host.
yeah.
Okay?
Do all that. Do all of that CTA things that you have to do to ensure that we get
Wait,
more people.
look at that last thing. It looks like,
Ida,
yeah.
Igor.
I didn't see this obviously because you were doing this.
Yeah, because you were on the call. That is when the press conference happened.
$4 billion. No. $4 billion. Even Messi's not worth that much.
When can we expect you again? When can they expect us again? Probably very soon.
Oh, we have an upcoming pod with the only player to play for, only Indian player ever to play for all 3 Kolkata clubs. We'll let you figure out who that is, but that pod is happening day after tomorrow at 8:30 or 9,
Yeah.
right?
There you
So
go.
we
That's
have a
when we
pod
introduce again.
with the only ever Indian player to play for all 3 Calcutta clubs. I'm leaving you with that teaser. Like let us know who you think it is. Let us know who you
Tweet karo,
guys
tweet
want
karo.
us to bring to a podcast. Don't keep saying King Mr. 12 lakh because he's not coming back to this podcast. That's
बस
for
हो गया
sure.
उसको एक बार में.
Yeah.
हाँ, ठीक है. Sandeep pissed him off. Right,
Live
live
or
on
recorded?
Absolutely nothing. We all know who's the one who pisses people off in this pod. Okay. I am fighting
Yeah.
PR fights
Of
after
course, you're
PR
talking.
fights.
Of course, you're talking about. Of course, you're talking about Naveen Peter only.
Yeah, I
But,
piss people off.
Okay. Anindyavan said Rahim Nabi.
Oh
Then maybe
yeah,
there are 2.
I mean you. I had to call and figure stuff.
I know.
You because of
I
your nonsense.
Yeah.
I pissed him off. I know.
Japanese football podcast part 2. We still. I'm just going to tell you guys this. Please go and watch our Japanese football podcast with Tom Randall. It's pretty revelatory. It's pretty eye-opening. We've not got
Naveen.
viewers for that. That's what I'm saying. We keep putting we keep putting out good content. We don't keep getting viewers.
See my
We'll
light shut
wait.
off.
We'll wait for this Japanese football podcast to get a little more traction. Please let us
5,000
know.
views on Japanese football. Only then you'll get part 2.
I'm kidding. We'll put out. I
We are
have to do
trying for
some
other ones also, but matches are so random that it's difficult to find a time where they are free
Huh.
and we are free and all like.
But please let us know who you want us to get.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
On that note, let's wrap up. I don't have light here.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
All right. See you guys. See you soon. Do
Keep
all the
following
silly
Indian
things that you have
football.
to that you have to do.
Uh,
Follow Indian football. Follow us for all the rant that you saw here. It will continue on Twitter and all other platforms as well.
Jai
Bye
Hind, everyone.
bye. Jai Hind. Jai